Howdy all, lovely to see you all again. Thank you so much for being patient. We're going to be looking at the final and amazingly delicious solo in November Rain. Let's take a look. Alright, if you watch the other two tutorials, you will know that this song is in E flat standard tuning, but if you haven't cottoned on, the tuning is E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and another E flat. So get yourself in tune, and we'll get started. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I want to start off with a big bend on 19 of the first string, then bring it down to 19 as a regular note. Then I go into this. I've got a regular 20, a full tone bend 20, and then back to a regular 20 again. Okay, after that, kind of working down a C minor arpeggio if we were in standard tuning. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play 19, 20 on the first, then jump to 15 of the first string, and then jump to 16 of the second. So it'll go all together from the start. Hopefully that's making sense. And this is going to repeat quite a lot through the other sections. Not exactly the same every time, but the general theme will be similar. Let's work on this phrase. So I'm going 15, 16 on the first string. And then I do a hammer into a pull off, 15, 16, 15. Then I jump to 18 of the second string. At the end of that phrase, I was jumping back down to 15 of the first. Let's try the whole thing from the start thus far. Okay, then we work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I want to start off by playing 13, 15, 16 on the first string. And then I want to go back to 15. So it'll go. Then after I've done that, I want to go back to the 16 again. I'm going to play the first note and then roll that back. So I'm going to play 13, 15, 16, 15, and then from the 16, the rolling legato. Okay? Then I want to jump to 16 of the second string, back down to 15 of the first, and then to 16 again. So it'll go. Okay? Then after that, I want to work into this phrase. So we'll do this and then we'll put it with the rest. So I'm going to do a hammer on into a pull off, going 13, 15, 13 of the first, and then jumping to 16 of the second. So all together. Okay, then I work into this. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 15, 16 on the second string, then playing 13 of the first, and then playing 16, 15, 16 on the second. So it'll go. So all together from when it started to get a little bit tricky. Hopefully that's all making sense, and then I work into this. What I've got at the start of that is 2 bends on 15 of the second string. Then I work into this. what I'm doing here is playing 13, 15, 16 on the second string and then 13 of the first. So I'm going to do the 2 bends and then lead into that. Okay? Now I'm just going to repeat the last 3 notes of that, which was playing 15, 16 of the second and then to 13 of the first. So we're going to go... Hopefully that just makes sense. So we're just leaving out that pointer finger on the second time through. Let's go from the double bend now. At the end of that, I've got one more little chunk and that's the whole section. I'm going to play 15 of the second string and then I'm going to play 13, 15, 13 as a hammer-on into a pull-off. Okay, and then we want to resolve that on 16 of the third, which has got a bit of a harmonic minor flavour. So we've got... I'm going to do the whole last little tricky shred and then we'll go right back to the start of the section and put it all together and then do it again slowly with some tabs. So we're going to go... Alright, one more time from the start and we'll go from that big 19 bend at the start. One more time, some tabs. Okay, I would dare say that this is the hardest part of the whole solo, so be nice and patient with this one. The first half of this is exactly the same as the first bit we had in section 1, so I'll play that for you. Up to there it's identical, and then we go into this big hilarious shred. So that's all the same, we'll put it all together at the end, but I want to start this section from here. And then all the other jazz that follows it. I'm trying not to be too distorted so you can hear all the notes individually. I want to start from 15 of the second string. I'm going to play 15, 16, 18 as a rolling hammer on. And then what I want to do here is play 15, 16 on the first string, and then 15, 16, 15 as a hammer on into a pull off. So it'll go, and I jump to 18 of the third. So all together, at the end of that little lick, I want to play 15 of the first string and 16 of the second. So that's going to sound like this. And we're just going to do this whole section in a lot of little chunks because there's some fast stuff and it does get a little bit scary if you don't break it up. Okay, after that I want to work into this phrase. So most of this is all in one pick. I'm playing 18, 20, 18, 16 on the second string, so I'm hammering in from 18 to 20 and then pulling off. I want to quickly hammer from the 16 back to 18 and then pull off to the 16 again. So we're going, I think it's 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all in one pick. And I quickly play 20 of the first string. So we should have like 2 little shred groups now. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then the next part is just working up and down, sort of an Aeolian shape in what would be, I guess, in standard tuning C minor. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 13, 15, 16 on the second string, only plucking the first note and then hammering it. And then I do the same thing on the first string, but on the first string I want to reverse that as well. So I'm going to play 13, 15, 17, 15, 13. Okay? After I've reversed that, I'm going to hit 16 of the second string and then play 15 of the first and 16 of the second string again. So it's kind of like this, what we had in the first group. So from the start, hopefully that's all making sense. Then I work into this phrase. Okay, so I want to add in this phrase now. What I'm doing here is I'm playing 13 to 15, back to 13 is a hammer on into a pull off on the first string. then I play 16 of the second, and then I go back down to 13 of the first. So it'll go. Okay, then from there I want to play 15, 16 on the second, and then back to 13 of the first. So it'll go. So we're going to go. Okay, now I want to go from that rolling legato part before, nice and slow, and we'll hear how they join together. Okay, there's only a little bit left, and then we'll put the whole thing together. It works into this. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm playing 16, 15 on the second string. Then I play 16 again. And then from there, what I'm doing is I'm playing 15, 16, 15, 13 as a hammer-on into 2 pull-offs. So I'll go. Okay, hopefully that's making sense. And then I play 15 of the third and then back down to 13 of the second. So I'll go. Okay, and then from there, I want to play 15 to 13 as 4 pull-offs in a row with hammers in between, obviously, on the third string. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going between 15 and 13 4 times. And the last part I do is I'm playing 12, 13 on the 4th string as a hammer-on into a pull-off twice. And then I want to end on that pull-off note. So it's going to go 12, 13, 12, 13, 12 on the 4th. So let's try and do from when we had the crazy little bits, and then we'll add the part at the start as well. So nice and slow from the start of the section. All right, let's do it now with that big emotional bit at the start, and this will be all of section 2. I know it's been challenging, but the rest is a lot easier than this. This is easily the scariest and most terrifying. One more time, some tabs. Alright guys, let's take a look at this third section. It starts off a little bit similar to the first and second section, but it does change a little bit. So let's go through it slowly. We're going to start off once again with the 19 bend up and back. And I'm going to do a regular 20, a bent 20, and then a regular 20 on the first string. And then I jump to 19. So that's all the same, then it changes. Then I work into this phrase, which is exactly the same thing twice. I've got a slight bend on 19 of the third, so just a semitone bend. I hit at the top and bring it down, and then I pull off to 17. And as I said, I want to do that twice in a row. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then I jump to 20 of the third string, and I want to do sort of a double pulsed bend. And notice the first time, I'm doing sort of just a tone, and then the second time it's a bigger bend. So the way I think of this is I'm doing a full tone bend, and then I'm doing a tone and a half. So I'm going. It helps to lift your whole body and head up a little bit further too. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, so we got. At the end of that, I work into this phrase. What I've got here sounds a little bit Zelda-y to me. Anyway, I want to do a hammer-on from 17 to 19 of the third, 17 to 20 of the third string, and then skip to 20 of the first string. Okay, after that I work into this phrase. Kind of reminds me of Anastasia a little bit, this part. I want to play 15, 20, 19, 20. And then a similar idea, but I'm going to play 15, 18, 16, 18, and this is all on the first string. So let's take it from the start, put it all in order up to there, a little bit of a mouthful there, and then we'll figure out the rest of it. Okay, now we're working to this. So what I'm doing here, we've seen something similar to this before. 15, 16, 15 is a hammer on into a pull off, jump to 18 of the second, and then back down to 15 of the first. Slow it down, Chris. That's better. And then we work into this phrase. It's only 8 more notes left. I play 16, 18 on the second string, and then I want to play 15 of the first to 16 of the second string 3 times. So those last 8 notes, 16, 18, and then the 15, 16 3 times. That's all of section 3. Let's do it again at a gentlemanly pace, and then again with some tabs. One more time, some tabs. Okay, let's have a look at the fourth section. It's quite similar to the first and second little chunk of the first and second section, but there's a little change in there. We start off with this, 19 up and down, and then the 20. When I bring the 20 down, I've got a regular, a bent, and then the regular 20 again, but I do a little gallop, kind of a triplet thing, and then I go. So all that's different is instead of going between 20 and 19, I've got that little gallop from the 20. So I'll play it for you slowly again. That's all the same. I call that the little apple pie rhythm. Apple pie, it's kind of got that Iron Maiden gallop to it. After that, we work into this phrase. Okay, let's work through that slowly. I'm playing 18 of the second string and 15 of the first. And then I have 3 bends from 18 of the first string. Okay, and then I work into sort of a bluesy arpeggio idea. What I've got here is I'm playing 15 of the first string into 18 of the second. And then when I jump back to 15 of the first string, I'm working down sort of a C minor arpeggio shape. I'm playing 15 of the first, 16 of the second, and 17 of the third. So altogether, that's going to go. All right, let's go from the little bluesy bit now. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I work down basically a C minor pentatonic around this kind of 15th to 18th fret position. So if it looks like a familiar pentatonic shape, it's kind of the 4th branch of the C minor pentatonic. So what I'm doing here, I'm doing 2 pull-offs from 17 to 15. I do pluck both of them though. That was on the 3rd string. And then I want to play 17, 16 on the 4th. And then I'm going to do a hammer into a pull-off going 15, 16, 15 on the 4th. Okay, then from there I do the same 2 notes twice. I'm playing 18 of the 5th string, 15 of the 4th. As I said, I do that twice. And then I resolve that whole thing by playing 18 of the 5th and ending on 15 of the 5th. Okay, and that's basically the whole section. So let's go from the start. Remember, we're going to add that quick little gallopy apple pie rhythm on the 20 and then do the bluesy stuff from there. All together. One more time, some tabs. Alright guys, we're up to the 5th section. Good news, the start of this is exactly the same as what we had at the start of section 1 and section 2. So I'll play that for you. That's nice and fun. And then I work into this next phrase. I'm starting off by playing 18 of the 2nd string and 15 of the 1st. And I've got sort of a double bend on 16 of the 1st. That's all in one pick, and then I work into this. What I'm doing here is I'm hammering 16, 18, pulling off to 16 and then going to 15. And then I want to pluck the 16 again. Hopefully that makes sense. So from the start of that little group, okay, then I work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is going from 18 of the second string. I'm doing a hammer on into a pull off, 15, 16, 15 on the first. And then I go, so those last 4 notes that I did, I was playing 18 of the second, back down to 15 of the first, and then a slightly bent 18, getting that kind of bluesy sound, and then just going back to a regular 18. All right, so let's go from the start of that chunk again. And then I work into this phrase. Let's take our time with this. I want to play 16 of the second string, and then 18, 16. Then I jump down to 15 of the first string. So all together. Okay, and then I want to play 18, 16 again on the second. So let's try that all together. Okay, then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm doing a hammer on into a pull off again, 15, 16, 15 of the first, then jumping to 18 of the second string, and back down to 15 again. So I'll go at the end of that, a slight semitone bend on 15 of the second string. So we had okay, let's go from when we had that little 16y bendy part at the start of the difficult chunk, and then what I want to do is add the whole section from, add that little chunk at the front of that and try and put it all together. So from here now, let's try that now from the 19 bends at the start. As I said before, the phrasing is exactly the same as the start of section 1 and section 2. One more time with some tabs. Okay, section 6, we're nearly there, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. The start of this section is also very similar to what we had at the start of group 1 and 2. We're just going to stop a little bit earlier. So the first 2 bars are identical. Up to that 15. And then to finish off the whole solo, all we have left is this. So what I've got here is a bend from 15 to the first string. I know it is weird to bend from the pointer, but I'm going, just bending that upper semitone on the first string, 15th fret. Then I hit it at the top, bring it down, then do a pull off from 18 to 16 on the second string. After that, I want to bend up 18 of the second string, and then just bring it down and pull it off. So I'm not plucking that one again. I'm bending the 18 up, bringing it down slowly and pulling off to the 16. At the end of that, I'm just hitting that 15 and vibratoing it. So from the start of the section, that's pretty much it. We'll go from the start, do it relatively slowly, and then do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. And that was the big final delicious solo in November Rain. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. I'll catch you real soon.